is Lesley Hornung. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for HLB International, and I am joined today by Ricard Santomà, Vice Dean of the IQS School of Management, specializing in tourism and hospitality. Thank you so much for joining me today, Ricard.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're here in Madrid at our July Audit Advisory-Tax Audit Conference 2023. And we just had a session, a panel discussion actually, where Ricard was one of the panelists. And we spoke about our global survey of business leaders and the trends that we found through our findings this year around leadership styles, challenges that businesses are facing. And we spoke about 6 months into the year, how have those complex market trends evolved and where do we see opportunities now? So what I'd like to speak with you a little bit more about is the topic around talent acquisition and it ranking as the #1 weakness identified in our survey, right? Many business leaders are struggling to attract and retain good talent. Now, as a professor at university, you work with a lot of young and bright people. What do you think these younger generations are looking for, and how can business leaders maybe change their style or their approach to attracting these individuals?
Yeah, when I talk to these young students, they usually tell me that they want to join a company that they feel comfortable. Some of them, of course, they want to join big companies, but the main students, they want to go to a place that they can develop themselves, not just as professionals, but also as persons, as people. So they are not just looking for a salary, they are not just looking for a position, they are looking for a place where they can have a good time. They can have opportunities for growing, they can have opportunities, of course, for professional growing, and without a high loyalty to the company, because maybe they understand that this is not the final company that they will work for and they will be changing to other companies. So I think one of the biggest challenge for the C people, the CEOs and the C people in the companies, is understanding how is this new generation, and the only way of understanding this new generation is paying attention to them and not trying to put my point of view over their point of view. So leave your point of view apart and try to understand what is their point of view. Maybe there will be things that you don't like, maybe there are things that you disagree, but that's their opinion. And my main question sometimes is, who's adapting to? Is the company adapting to the society or the society to the company? I guess that is the company that should be adapting to the society.
Yeah, and I mean, as an academic in a business school, right? What kind of strategies or tactics can C-suite deploy? So you spoke about listening and understanding this generation, of course, but in terms of like how business models are also adapting, right? And I'm kind of hinting at post-COVID, post the pandemic, we see far more business models adopting remote or hybrid models, or being more flexible. Do you recognize that? Is that something that you think appeals to these younger generations?
Yeah, at the beginning, just a few months away from the pandemics, people were thinking that the telework or the remote working was going to be the big success or the big reality. But nowadays we see that it's not exactly the big reality. Companies are going back to come to the company to work, because that's where the relationship between people is being. So people, I think, is getting a little bit tired of being just seeing the others through the screen. But we don't have to forget that there is a new generation which is called the nomads, digital nomads, that is people that is enjoying so much working online, but taking the opportunity of traveling at the same time. That's why we say this new generation is a generation that combines the professional and their personal life all together. So if I can travel and at the same way I can work, that's why, for example, Bali is one of the main destinations for digital nomads. There are a lot of digital nomads. and the hospitality industry is also changing a little bit, and you can find solutions for these digital nomads. But I will not say that this will be the main reality. This will be a group of people that they will, for sure, use this kind of working. But the thing is that how are we transforming our facilities? Are our facilities thinking about this new generation? Are we giving them what they need to work and to develop themselves? Are we promoting these not only professional but also social activities? I remember some companies that are some startups, for example, that they are promoting social activities in the companies just to retain people in the companies, because they realize this startup is made by young people. So they know that they want not just to be professional colleagues, but also kind of friends. Because things during a lot of hours we are together, and then we will need to have this time also, not just professional time, also some social time. And they are developing that. Is the C people understanding that? That's the question. That's the question. So at least not just understanding, listening to that. So this kind of leadership is, I would say that sometimes we need to be more humble, and we need to recognize maybe that we need to include in our point of view their point of view. If we don't try to listen and understand and include in our point of view and our policies their needs, we will not be attractive. And if we are not attractive, we will not be able to seduce them, to seduce this new talent, which is the base of our business.
Interesting. In our survey report this year, we also asked about organizational purpose, and we're talking about purpose beyond financial performance. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are an academic, but in academic terms, the difference between a mission and a purpose, the mission that you want to accomplish versus the purpose that is actually driving you or motivating you to want to do that, right? And what we found in our research is that increasingly the C-suite is attributing value to having organizational purpose, and a majority say that they actually also do have organizational purpose. What's your view, your opinion on this?
I think that's one of the main points. Financial is not a purpose itself, it's just something that you have to achieve in order to survive, of course. Usually nowadays, I will give you an example of something that I do in class. They have to build a hotel, okay? And the first thing I ask them is, what's your main mission in life for the students? And some of them say, I want to fight against poverty, I want to change the climate, I want to fight against, I want to work towards gender equality, etc., etc. That's the first point. Then I ask them, okay, now start thinking about a business that you will be able to achieve your personal mission in life through this company, or through this hotel, or through this. And the final project is 100% much stronger than any other projects, because it's a project that it has a real purpose. And if people join this project, they are joining a purpose. So the loyalty of the employees is much higher. This is as when we talk about our company, there's a typical way of saying, we can talk about what are we doing, how are we doing, and why are we doing. But the first thing is that we have to inverse it. We have to start saying, why are we doing that? Then, how, and finally, what? But if we start with the what, and our main purpose is in the what, then we are forgetting about the why. And the why,
the golden circle.
yeah. And if you want to attract people, exactly. That's the three circles, yeah. But this is real. Companies with a real purpose are the companies that are more attractive, and the companies that attract more people, more talent, this young generation.
Excellent. My final question then. In our survey this year, we asked the question, what are the essential leadership behaviors to lead through the perfect storm, what we call it? I'm going to phrase it slightly different for you. What do you think are the essential leadership behaviors for successful businesses in the future?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question, but I've been reading a lot about that. And there are like 2 or 3 words that are important. First of all, be humble. When you become humble in your leadership, that's when you are near to the people. Because being humble is the only way that we have in common with all the people. So when you become humble, when you are humble, when you demonstrate that you are humble, people will be asking you questions, talking to you, etc., etc. Second, the scenario is risky always. There's always risk, and you have to deal with that. And with that risk, you have to think, that's the third, you have not only to think in the short term, try to think in the long term, try to find your purpose, and try not to forget this purpose. Think in the long term, trying to achieve your purpose. That maybe it can be a mix between the company purpose and your personal purpose. When it happens, magic happens. But I think that's one of the main, the 3 leadership style would be humble. Risk is always there, so you have to be dealing with risk.
So is that agility around risk?
Exactly, agility around risk. And of course, I remember a restaurant told me that one of the raw materials rises a lot the price. What they did, they changed the menu. So that's the only way.
Simple solution.
Yeah,
yes.
simple solution. They changed the menu. We're not using this raw material, we're using another one. And think strategically.
Yeah.
Not forget to think strategically.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.